I don't have a problem with the WNBA players asking for a raise. The WNBA is on a hot streak. I don't care about the previous 24, 25 years. As an investment, it's starting to pay off. And so this week they wore T-shirts saying, making a statement, you better pay us. But instead of just leaving it at that, a Kelsey Plum for LA had to take a dig at Caitlin Clark.
Let's be clear. The league is finally catching heat. After decades of being a money pit, it's actually starting to show signs of life. The investment, it's working. But here's the part that nobody wants to say out loud. Caitlin Clark is the reason why.
The T-shirt, just United front was determined this morning that we had a meeting for. And, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that.
This week, players wore shirts demanding better pay. Cool. You've earned some leverage. But then Kelsey Plum had to take it a step further. Instead of uniting behind the one person responsible for the league's surge, she throws a jab at Caitlin Clark. And that's when Colin Cowherd stepped in and put it perfectly.
You guys were flying before she arrived on one of those airlines that made you pay for a cup of water. Okay, if you're in a band and you're staying at the Motel 6 and you add a band member and now you're at the Ritz-Carlton, keep your issues to yourself. All right? You went from a Motel 6 in a sketchy part of town to a Four Seasons in the shopping district. Stop talking.
Stop biting the hand that feeds you. Let's talk facts. Before Clark entered the league, WNBA teams were flying commercial on airlines that literally charged you for water. That's not a metaphor. That's not hyperbole. These players were grinding 30,000 feet in the air with no legroom, praying for upgrades they never got. Merch wasn't moving. Stadiums were half empty. And outside of Olympic years, nobody was really paying attention.
I don't mind the T-shirts. I think you have leverage. I think you deserve more than 9%. But it's just misstep after misstep. It's time to grow up, girls, fast. Like this is the player that got you off the airline that was bright yellow. Right? She got you an upgrade to a better hotel as a band member.
Then comes Caitlin Clark. Boom. Overnight, it's a different world. A 500% jump in merch sales, a 40% spike in attendance. Teams that were financial disasters are suddenly profitable. The Indiana Fever? They had a losing record and a losing reputation. And now they've got a waiting list for season tickets. That's not normal. That's historic. And it should have been a moment of celebration. But no, Kelsey Plum and others decide it's time to throw shade.
I know you wanted your song to be the first one they played. You wanted to make up the set. But it's not the T-shirts. You're going to do fine. I'd scale back on the Caitlin Clark angst.
Clark didn't show up to their team meeting, they say. She's not one of us. Really, you mean the one person who elevated the league overnight doesn't get a pass for missing your T-shirt committee meeting? Here's where Cowherd goes in, and honestly, he's right. He said, you were playing in a Motel 6, and now you're staying at the Four Seasons. And the only thing that changed, Clark joined the band. If you were a backup singer and suddenly your group got upgraded to a headline Vegas residency, would you complain about the lead singer?
And here's the other thing to remember. Caitlin Clark's already rich. She made $11 million this year alone in endorsements off the court. So regardless of how these negotiations go, she's set. Nobody else is, right? So when somebody joins the band and everything gets upgraded, just be happy.
Number you'd smile, hit your marks, and cash the check. But that's not what's happening here. Cowherd made it clear. Clark didn't just improve the league. She saved it. She transformed it. She injected life, energy, relevance. And while she's doing all this, she's getting hacked on the court and snubbed off of it. You want proof? Let's talk all-star voting. Fans ranked her number 1 among guards.
Caitlin Clark finished 9th in player voting. In fact, she finished behind one of her own teammates in player voting for the All-Star game. The pettiness has no bounds. But it's interesting. For years, the WNBA players were pointing fingers. They were saying people are sexist, the media is sexist, we're not being promoted, we're underappreciated. And then they get the Golden Goose, and they don't like what it looks like.
Coaches, respect. But players, they ranked her 9th, not 5th, not 3rd, 9th. That's not about stats. That's not about talent. That's pettiness. That's jealousy in plain sight. And Cowherd laid it bare. You said you wanted popularity. You said you wanted sold-out arenas. You said you wanted bigger paychecks. You got it. You just didn't want it to look like this. Translation. Some players don't like the fact that the face of the league is a young white woman from Iowa who just got here. But as Cowherd said, success doesn't always look how you expected. Sometimes it looks like Tom Brady at the combine. Sometimes it looks like Steph Curry in high school.
Did you think when you watched Tom Brady at the combine, that looked like the GOAT? They had just signed Drew Bledsoe to a $103 million contract. That was a lot of money back then. And then a year in, they're like, I'm going to go with Brady. They didn't fight it.
And sometimes it looks like Caitlin Clark pulling up from 30 feet and draining threes on your head. Cowherd even dropped the MJ comparison, and it's not a stretch. Jordan entered the NBA and flipped it upside down. Clark's doing the same in the WNBA. Merchandise, TV ratings, social media engagement. She's breaking records left and right. And just like MJ, she's paying the price for it. Remember the Jordan rules? The Pistons literally built a strategy around fouling him into the ground. Clark is dealing with her own version. Cheap shots, extra contact. And where are the refs? Nowhere. Cowherd pointed out, this isn't just rough play. It's borderline assault at times. And you know how we know she's built different? She doesn't cry. She doesn't flop. She gets up, talks her trash, and buries the next shot. That's greatness. That's grit. That's exactly what the league should be celebrating. Instead, they're making her the villain. Even worse, Cowherd highlighted how the Fever had to go out and get Sophie Cunningham, the youngest black belt in Missouri history, just to protect Clark. That's not basketball. That's a bodyguard assignment. But it proves the point. Indiana knows what they've got. They're not trading her. They're not risking her. She's the Steph Curry of the WNBA, and they're building around her. Cowherd's bigger message? This isn't the time for division. It's the time to ride the wave. You either get on board or you get left behind. Players like Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell, they get it. They're working with Clark, not against her. They see what this could become. Packed arenas, ESPN features, girls in WNBA jerseys at school, TV networks actually fighting to get the broadcasting rights. That's the vision. That's the future. But that future disappears real fast if players keep taking shots at the only person making it happen. Cowherd wrapped it perfectly. You want to be the first person on the playlist. You want to lead the band. But guess what? You're not the headliner. Clark is. And honestly, that's okay. Because her success is your success. If the league continues this drama, snubbing Clark, hazing her on the court, taking passive-aggressive digs off it, they'll ruin the momentum. They'll drive fans away. They'll prove every old-school sports radio caller right. But if they lean into the moment, if they embrace the wave, this league could blow up in ways we've never seen before. So the question is simple. Do you want to be part of the moment or part of the problem? The WNBA is staring at the biggest opportunity it's ever had, and the choice is right in front of them. Caitlin Clark is the Golden Goose. Start acting like it. If you support Caitlin Clark, comment Golden Goose below, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We've got more fire coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's next.